All right, so you're ready to dive into some Champions League action.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Liverpool versus Lille. And, you sent over a bunch of articles previewing the match.
Yep.
And I got to say, I'm seeing some, conflicting narratives here. Is Lille really going to be able to pull off an upset, or is this just another routine win for Liverpool?
Yeah, I see that.
So let's try to break it down.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so first off, Liverpool's just been dominating, right?
Gosh.
I mean, 6 wins out of 6 in the Champions League.
It's impressive.
Some really impressive home victories too, against Bayer Leverkusen.
Right.
Real Madrid, it's almost like they're just on autopilot at this point.
Yeah, they're a tough team to beat right now, for sure.
But one article I was reading, it suggested that, this dominance could actually be a double-edged sword.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, they were saying that it could lead to complacency, especially against a team like Lille, who are going to be super motivated.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just assume you're going to win every game.
And when you look at the stats, one thing really jumps out at you.
What's that?
It's not just that Liverpool's taking more shots.
Right.
It's that they're averaging 6 shots on target per game in the Champions League.
Wow.
Which is double Lille's average.
Okay, so they're not just taking shots, they're taking good shots.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
So even if they do rotate the squad, like some of the articles are predicting,
yeah,
they're still probably going to create a ton of chances.
Most likely, yeah.
But hold on, before we hand them the trophy already.
Right.
We got to talk about Lille's unbeaten streak.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
21 matches across all competitions. That's got to mean something, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
mean,
get
that's not just luck at that point.
No, it's not a fluke.
They've got something going on.
So what is it? What's the secret sauce over there?
Well, they've shown that they can handle the big stage.
Yeah.
They've already had victories against both Madrid clubs in this season's Champions League.
Oh, wow. Yeah, right?
Which shows that they're not intimidated by big names.
No, they're not scared.
Right. And on top of that, they're still fighting for a top 8 finish.
Oh, right. To secure that bye.
Secure the bye to the round of 16.
Yeah.
So they're going to be extra motivated for this one.
Yeah, they're playing for something.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm starting to see why the experts are not completely writing off Lille.
Yeah. It's not a sure thing for Liverpool by any means.
We also got to talk about just the different styles of these two teams.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you got Liverpool, this super attacking, possession-based football.
Right.
And then you got Lille, who's more defensive, counter-attacking approach.
Yeah.
So how do those styles actually clash on the pitch?
Well, one article I was reading highlighted Lille's success using a low block against teams that like to have a lot of possession.
Okay.
Which kind of similar to how Atletico Madrid frustrated Liverpool last season.
Yeah.
They basically just clogged up the midfield and forced Liverpool into taking these low percentage shots from distance.
Oh, so they're thinking that could be their blueprint for an upset.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they try that again.
Okay, so it sounds like Lille's defense could be a real headache for Liverpool.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to figure out a way to break them down.
But there's another article I was looking at and is pointing out that Lille's attack has actually struggled against teams who press high.
Oh, right.
Which is Liverpool's signature move.
Yeah, that's their bread and butter.
So do you think Lille's going to be able to break through that press consistently?
That's a good question.
Not so sure.
It'll be tough, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they handle that.
Because that's where it gets interesting, right? The individual battles.
Exactly.
Who can win their matchup.
Yeah. Who steps up?
So for Liverpool, you got Darwin Núñez. He's in red hot scoring form right now.
He's on fire.
But will he actually have the space he needs to operate against this packed Lille defense?
Yeah, that's the question.
And on the flip side, you got Jonathan David for Lille.
Right.
He's great at finding these little pockets of space in the box.
Mm-hmm.
But can he do that against Liverpool's high line?
That's going to be a tough challenge.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's going to have to be really clever.
And then you can't forget about Mohamed Salah.
Oh, of course not.
For Liverpool, he always seems to find a way to create magic,
He's just so dangerous.
One source even said he might be extra motivated for this match.
Oh, why is that?
Because he's only 1 goal away from breaking a Champions League record.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he's going to be hungry.
So he's going to be coming in guns blazing.
Yeah, look out for that.
And speaking of motivation, let's talk about Curtis Jones for Liverpool.
Okay, yeah, what about him?
The data shows that he's been given a much more attacking role in these recent Champions League games.
Interesting.
And his shot count has just skyrocketed.
Oh, wow. So they're really giving him the green light to go forward.
Yeah, they are. So if he can keep that up, he could be a real difference maker.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be keeping an eye on him.
Okay, now on the Lille side.
Yeah.
We got to talk about Benjamin Andre.
Oh, yeah.
He's so vital to their midfield.
He is.
But his disciplinary record's a little bit of a concern.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right.
The sources were highlighting his tendency to pick up cards.
Yeah.
Which could be a major factor in this match.
Exactly.
Especially with a referee who's known to be a bit card happy.
Wait, are we saying Benjamin Andre's aggression is actually a liability?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
I mean, isn't that exactly what Lille needs to disrupt Liverpool's rhythm?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Maybe the card risk is worth it.
It might be. Yeah, some people say that's just part of his game.
Right.
It's gamble, for sure.
Yeah, so it's like a high risk, high reward kind of situation.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it.
Okay, so is he going to be Lille's, enforcer?
Yeah, like they're good too.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
That's what makes it exciting, right?
Exactly. You never know what's going to happen.
You got to watch the game to find out.
All right, so we've talked about the teams. We've talked about some key players.
Yeah.
We got to talk about the referee.
Oh, yeah, of course. Felix Ware.
Yeah, and apparently he's got a little bit of a reputation.
He does, doesn't he?
What's the word on the street about him?
Well, the data shows that he's averaged over 5 yellow cards per game.
5?
In his last 5 Champions League matches.
Whoa.
Yeah. So one source even called him the card machine.
The card machine?
Yeah.
That's a lot of cards.
It is, and that could have a huge impact on the match.
Oh, yeah. Especially for a team like Lille.
Right, because they rely on physicality.
Exactly.
So they're going to have to be careful.
Okay, so are we thinking there's going to be some fireworks on the pitch then?
Potentially?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe even a red card or 2.
Oh, man.
It's going to be interesting, that's for sure.
I'm thinking we should place a bet on how many yellows we're going to see.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Right.
Yeah, maybe we should.
All right, well, but jokes aside,
Yeah.
Zweyer's officiating style could really influence the game.
Oh, absolutely.
If he's quick to reach for his pocket,
right,
it might disrupt Lille's rhythm.
Yeah, and play right into Liverpool's hands.
But on the flip side, it could also make Liverpool's players think twice about committing to tackles.
Oh, that's true.
Which might give Lille more space to counterattack.
Right, it's a tough one to call.
It's a fascinating tactical wrinkle.
Yeah, it is. It really adds another layer to the game.
Okay, so let's just recap here for a second.
Yeah.
We got Liverpool, the dominant force, potentially facing some complacency and a card-happy referee.
Right.
And then we got Lille, the underdog,
Yep.
with a resilient streak.
That's right.
And a tactical game plan that could exploit some of Liverpool's weaknesses.
Potentially, yeah.
What are the betting odds looking like?
Well, as you might expect, the odds are definitely in Liverpool's favor.
Right.
Most sources are predicting a comfortable Liverpool victory.
Okay.
But it is interesting, though.
What is it?
Several articles pointed out that Lille has historically performed well against English teams.
Really?
In European competitions.
I had no idea.
Yeah. It's kind of a strange trend.
What's their secret? Do they just have this, knack for frustrating English sides?
It seems so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're known for their tactical discipline
Uh-huh.
and their ability to just absorb pressure.
Yeah, okay.
And remember, they've already beaten 2 Spanish giants this season.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, even though they're the underdogs,
Yeah.
they shouldn't be underestimated.
Okay, so we've covered the teams, we've talked about the referee, we've even talked about some historical trends.
Yep, we've done our homework.
What about you? What's your gut feeling about this match?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Come on, you gotta pick a side.
I know. It's just, honestly, I'm torn.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, logic tells me Liverpool should win.
Right.
But there's something about Lille's resilience and their tactical awareness.
Uh-huh.
That makes me think they could pull off a surprise.
Interesting.
The Champions League is often about more than just individual talent.
Oh, yeah.
It's about heart. It's about determination.
Oh, sure.
And a bit of luck, too.
Absolutely.
So who knows what could happen?
I couldn't agree more. That's what makes it so unpredictable and so exciting.
Exactly.
But before we get too carried away with our own predictions, let's bring it back to our listener.
Right.
What are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
What's standing out to you as the most important factor in this match?
It's a tough one. Is it calculated? Is he reckless?
Yeah.
One article I was reading compared him to Gattuso.
Oh, wow.
The Italian midfielder.
Yeah.
Known for his temperament.
Uh-huh.
But he was a master,
At walking that line.
Yeah, disrupting the opponent, but rarely crossing the line into recklessness.
Right. So will Andre be Lille's Gattuso?
That's the question.
The enforcer in the midfield. I like it.
Sets the tone.
Okay, and speaking of potential game changers, we can't forget about the ref.
Oh, yeah, Felix Ware.
Yeah, he's earned a bit of a reputation, right?
He has, hasn't he?
What's the data say about him?
Well, it shows that he's averaging like over 5 yellow cards per game.
5.
In his last 5 Champions League matches.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So one source called him the card machine.
The card machine? That's amazing.
It's a lot of cards.
Okay, so that could have a big impact.
Huge.
Yeah.
Particularly for a team like Lille.
Yeah, because they're physical.
They rely on physicality.
So they're going to have to be careful.
Yeah, they can't afford to give away any silly fouls.
Okay, so I'm hearing you say we should expect some fireworks.
Maybe a few. Yeah, potentially red card or 2.
I'm telling you, we got to place a bet on this. How many yellows are we going to see? Okay, but in all seriousness, Zweier's officiating style could really influence the game.
Yeah, definitely. If he's quick to book players,
right,
it could really disrupt Lille's rhythm.
And play right into Liverpool's hands.
Exactly.
But on the other hand, it could also make Liverpool think twice about tackling.
Oh, that's true.
Which would give Lille more space.
To counterattack.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to predict.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't really know how it's going to affect the game.
It's all about adaptation, right?
Exactly. Both teams are going to have to adjust based on how he calls the game.
So it all comes back to, can Lille pull off the upset?
The big question.
So we've got Liverpool, the favorites, potentially facing complacency, and a card-happy referee.
Right.
And Lille, the underdogs.
Yeah.
With their resilience and a game plan that could expose Liverpool.
It's possible.
What did the betting odds say?
Well, unsurprisingly, they favor Liverpool.
Okay.
Most sources predict a comfortable win.
Right.
But I did find it interesting. A few articles mentioned that Lille historically does well against English teams.
Really?
In European competition.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a weird trend.
So what's the deal? Do they just have a knack for frustrating English sides?
It seems like it, they're known for being tactically disciplined and absorbing pressure.
Okay.
And they already beat 2 Spanish giants this year.
Right. They did.
So, don't count them out.
Okay, so we've looked at the teams. We've talked about the Recify. We've even looked at some historical trends.
Yep. We've covered it all.
What about you? What's your gut feeling?
Honestly, I'm torn.
Torn? Come on, you gotta pick a side.
I know it's just logic says Liverpool should win.
Right.
But there's something about Lille's resilience and tactics that makes me think they might just surprise us.
Interesting.
Champions League is often about more than just talent.
Totally.
It's about heart determination.
Yeah.
A little bit of luck.
That's what makes it so unpredictable.
Exactly.
But before we get too carried away with our own predictions,
right,
let's bring it back to you, the listener.
What are your thoughts?
What's standing out to you as the most important thing in this match? Is there like a key player matchup that you're excited to see?
Yeah, or a tactical battle that you think will decide the game.
Yeah, hit us up in the comments. Let us know.
We want to hear from you.
Because that's what makes football so captivating, right?
Exactly. All the debates, all the opinions, the shared love of the game.
And even with all this analysis, we got to remember.
Yeah.
There's always going to be that element of unpredictability.
Oh, for sure. Anything can happen.
That's why I love the Champions League. You just never know.
Exactly. Keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Just shoot.
Something to ponder.
I like it.
We've talked a lot about Liverpool's likely squad rotation, right? And how that could open up opportunities for Lille.
Right, and that makes me think,
what?
Will we see a more cautious approach from Liverpool?
Oh, interesting.
Knowing they're already through to the next round, will they just try to control possession?
Avoid taking risks.
Yeah, play it safe.
Or will they stick to their guns?
Yeah, will they come out with that high-intensity attacking style even with the rotated squad?
It's a tough call.
It is.
Because Klopp has to decide what's the priority.
Right. Is it resting key players for the Premier League?
Or maintaining that momentum in the Champions League?
Yeah, big decision.
And it could totally change the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. A more conservative Liverpool might actually help Lille.
Right, because then they can sit back, absorb the pressure.
And then boom.
Get them on the counter.
Exactly.
Okay, so the question becomes, will Liverpool's depth be enough?
Yeah. Can they maintain that dominance with a different lineup?
Or will Lille capitalize on this opportunity?
The weakened side.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
That's the beauty of it.
All right, so there you have it. We explored all the narratives.
And dug into the tactics.
Debated the impact of the ref.
Hopefully this deep dive gave you a more informed perspective on this match.
Yeah, and maybe even spark some debates amongst yourselves.
Get those conversations going.
So grab your snacks, settle in, get ready for what should be a pretty captivating match.
We can't wait to see how it unfolds.
Don't forget to share your predictions and thoughts down in the comments.
We love hearing from you.
Until next time, enjoy the game.